Hey everybody, what is going on? And it occurs to me just now that I had the tag going the entire time. So yay. you guys know who I am. I already don't have to tell you, but anyway, I am the Dungeon Delver, Bill Sylvie, bringing you some AD&D goodness 5 nights a week. Not just AD&D, but all kinds of classic tabletop gaming. And how the heck are you this evening anyway? I'm doing all right. I can't complain. I mean, I could complain, but who would listen? And if the viewer count up there is anything to go by, nobody. But anyway. Ah, there you are. You all teleported in at the same time. Greetings, Battle of Pelennor Fields project. I'm dying to know about that user handle. You're a whole project? Oh, wrong lever. Hang on. Pardon me a second. My chair has malfunctioned. Doom Sword. Hello. Hey, Mefit. Good to see you. If the shoe fits, wear it. Dungeon Minister. Good to see you all. No, I just think StreamYard was being laggy and telling me how many folks I had. I knew I had viewers. It's okay. But anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. I had an okay one. Had an interesting artifact. I've had a few interesting artifacts. So as I mentioned before, I'm friends with my friends who run the my favorite local gaming store, Gods and Monsters. It's down on International Drive, 5421 International Drive, Orlando, Florida. You should absolutely check them out. Greetings, A. Umbra. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome aboard. It's a channel about a project I'm doing for my brother. Very cool. So I mentioned this a few weeks ago. They got a lot of stuff from some, I don't know if this person passed away or they just didn't want to be in the business of being in comic book and fandom business, and they got so many storage containers of stuff, but there was a tiny bit of gaming stuff in there, and there may still be more. There may still be some that's out there. And like there was a Dungeon Master's Guide and a Fiend Folio and a Monster Manual, all like 7th to 9th printings. Nothing extraordinary. There was a Manual of the Planes. Note, I'm saying in past tense was, and no, yours truly did not buy it. I don't need those items. But amongst these treasures were 2 items. I was flabbergasted. And the real tragedy here is that I won't get to see them because they both sold actually to someone out in audience land. They were shrink wrapped Holmes basic Dungeons and Dragons set, still in shrink. And I was just, I was just astounded. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me see if it's easy for me to get this without causing a commotion. If you're a little curious, Holmes basic, what is that? Some kind of Sherlock Holmes thing? Well, no, but yes, but no. Can I get this out without? There we go. Okay, so you could probably Google this just as easily. Oh, it's stuck. There's a hinge pin. I cannot easily pull that out. I'll have to remove a lot of books. But anyway, it is all, they're all shrink wrapped. Just astounding that you would find one now, because those released in like 77, 78, 79 before TSR moved to the magenta boxes for those. So it's kind of flabbergasting that they that they found these. And of course, the good folks over at Gods and Monsters said, "Hey, what do you think we should charge for these?" And of course, they'd be, about $20 a piece. I'll take them both. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be about that. No. So they are going to a good home, but I was just like, oh my God, I gotta try and get this down here. I gotta try and get this down. Hopefully I won't destroy anything in the process. Come on, scoot down. Everybody scoot down. Without damaging anything. There we go. Okay, so imagine this, but shrink wrapped. In shrink wrap, like you would go and you would get it off the shelf at Kmart or the toy store or what have you. 2 of these in shrink wrap they had. So the buyer was pretty excited to get those. And again, I know they'll go to a good home. Yes, Mafit. Yeah, those big ass Goodman prints, throw those into the bin. I gotta show my love though for the Keep on the Borderlands set. Although, you know what? No, I'm not going to get sidetracked in a deep dive. We are going to do an actual deep dive like we've done with the S series. We're going to do a deep dive on Keep on the Borderlands. Like the inaugural video I did for this channel, if you dig down through, it's awful, but it's kind of nice because I still have like dark hair, which by the way, if you're like, that's a crispier looking video nowadays. Yes, we are in glorious 1080p. I figured out that I could try it for free for a week. So this week's broadcast will be brought to you in 1080p. So we're gonna do a B2 deep dive because it is my favorite D&D module, and I want to walk you guys through the process of how I learned to play D&D by just having that module. Is the Goodman Keep on the board? I think for the price, I think it's okay. I think the Goodman Keep is okay. I'll talk about it some when I do a deep dive. Like you guys notice, I didn't launch into talking about Expedition of the Barrier Peaks, the Goodman set, when we talked about S3, because I think what we showed was enough. I can't really show you guys the inside of that book to any decent view, so you can see like Errol Otis's extra art on the fly leaves for it. High quality broadcasting will fun to watch it on. Yeah. But anyway, I know, as I was saying, if you go all the way back, the first show I ever did, I have dark hair. It's not, I'm not all salt and pepper. And that wasn't a long time ago. This is like 2014. That was not a great, huge, long time ago. But I talk about why B2 is so awesome in a pre-recorded video. So you don't have to sit here for an hour. But that is what we're going to be talking about soon-ish. Again, because I want to do a deep dive of B2, because I love B2. I love B2 quite a lot. But tonight, we're going to continue to look at WG4 and all of its funky weirdness. Now, I feel kind of like Jack Burton leading the escapees out of Lopan's dungeon. Basically, it was a dungeon adventure. It was a D&D event. I don't know if John Carpenter back in 1981 knew that he was basically running a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. People are like, "Ooh, I can't wait to see a good D&D movie." Bitch, there's been good D&D movies for years. Big Trouble in Little China is a fantastic D&D movie. And if you haven't seen it, shame on you. You need to see it. But I feel like Jack Burton here because there's this great line where he takes everybody, Michael Connor and Bretta. They're getting up right near the exit. They've rescued the women held captive by Lopan and everybody else, and Jack's standing behind the door, and he says with that cocksure attitude of his, he says, okay, from here on out everything is pretty normal. A nice false front. Well, that's kind of the reverse of what we've got in Tharizdun. From here back to the beginning, everything was pretty normal. A nice false front. But as we're about to see, the weird robes, the horns, the statues, all of that jazzmatazz is all kind of coming together in the dungeon level. So we've seen the weird idols with the programmed illusions. And there's some interesting stuff still. We'll just kind of gloss over this. There's a Grell, there's a guardian demon, there's a stun jelly. Yeah, we're getting some Fiend Folio stuff in here, guys. Boggarts are here. Guardian demon. Did I mention guardian demon? There's a guardian demon. Caryatid columns. A shadow demon. Now, again, this is where things start to get a little strange. I've always liked how stun jelly was one word versus jelly, stun. Oh, yeah, Michael, Hawk the Slayer, but I was thinking of good movies. Ooh. So let's share screen. So after encountering Boggarts, the fallback cave for the mountain giant, measles. Have you all had your measles shots? Caryatid columns. We come to the Under Temple. And I love how Gary starts this off. This is so wonderful. You dare all and begin to clamber down the shaft you have discovered in the secret room. Check for weak rungs. See inset area, lower level for details. After what seems like an endless climb, you note the air growing colder and your light sources dimmer. At last, you are at the bottom of the shaft. There is a low passage leading south, so there isn't much trouble deciding where to go. You are disturbed to note that your light sources seem very poor now, with only about 1/2 the illumination that they shed above. It isn't the air, for even magical daggers and swords give off but dim light. There is no way to correct lighting, for even continual light seems dim. If freshly cast, the spell will seem to be normal, but after a segment or two, the radiance begins to grow brownish around the edges, and the sphere seems to contract to about half normal diameter. Vision is uncertain, forms shadowy. If the iron torches and special cones are used, they will provide good, bright light only in area 4. In all other areas, they will shed illumination in a 5-foot radius, nothing more. The small chamber. You have come but 40 feet down south. You have come but 40 feet south down the passage. The 10-foot wide walls of rough black volcanic stone widen here to where 4 passages meet. The ceiling, only about 12 feet high, and the passage is domed here to a height of about 20 feet. As you enter the area, there is a strange iron gonging, and then all is silent. But you all feel something strange. Before you, the walls seem to waver and turn purple. A voice of incredible basso sort speaks out of nowhere. Look above you to know your fate. You cannot resist an upward glance. The ceiling is of transparent, seemingly infinite purple. Swimming through this universe of violet hue are glowing black runes. In a moment, you can understand them. Those whom I find unfit, I place on my left, say the first set. The next set states, those who succeed, I place on my right. Lastly, the chosen may come before me. The ceiling quickly fades to black, and all is normal, if there is such a thing in this place, once again. Ah, you caught that too, Umbral. So to the trapezoidal chamber. The poor light allows you to determine little of this place, but you can see gleaming metal to the east. There appear to be suits of armor there, some fallen, others still on their stands. Likewise, there are shields of archaic type hung on the walls. Perhaps those are shelves, too, with books and other items lined up on them. The light is too poor to tell for sure at any distance. And this is where we run into the shadow demon. The monster has been here for generations, and it is most disturbed about it. It can hardly wait to vent its fury upon whatever creature is foolish enough to enter the chamber in which it is imprisoned. Upon sight of the light of the party, the shadow demon will skulk along the walls, awaiting its chance to get between the adventurers and the exit from the place. Once there, it will attack. Whether from behind or before, the creature will leap upon its chosen victim, raking with its talon and biting fiercely. It will continue to do so. Attack unless the opponents are too strong. In the latter case, the shadow demon will use darkness and fear in that order to protect itself and then scatter the party. If a very powerful magic user is present, the monster will use a nearby brass amulet as its jar and use magic jar to attempt to take over such an opponent. The demon will certainly fight to the end, for it has no desire to remain forever in this forsaken place. So, all the loot here is trash. Greetings, Dunkatod. Except for a wand of light. The octagonal chamber. This place is over 40 feet across and about as high. The rough igneous rock from which the chamber was hewn is featureless except for inlaid stone symbols on each wall surface, save for the north, where the passage enters. The symbols are familiar two-step pyramid reversed. Touching one of these symbols will cause a 10-foot radius circle in the exact center of the chamber floor to turn a translucent, faintly glowing purple color. At this time, the iron horn must be sounded. Next round, the floor returns to its dead black condition, and sounding the horn will only make noise. If the party has the horn and one blows it while the floor glows, then read the following to them. Upon sounding the horn, you see the glowing floor brighten and begin to pulse. The dark, translucent purple glows brighter, lighter, transparent. It seems to rise slowly in a column, and around it is a curtain of gray vapors, likewise rising slowly towards the ceiling of the chamber. The room is growing frigid. If the characters have not donned the black robes and hoods, or if they don't do so now, they will begin to take cold damage at a rate of 1 to 4 points per round, rolling once for the entire party. Now you see a black pillar rising in the heart of the glowing 20-foot diameter beam of purple. As this black shaft touches the ceiling, the gray vapors thicken and make vision of the whole obscure. The characters must now light the incense in the thuribles and begin to swing them. They must also light the torches' cones. The incense from the thuribles will dissolve the gray vapors, much as a pass wall spell allows passage through stone. Then, by advancing and swinging them so as to cause the smoke to stream outwards, the purple light will seem to fade and an archway become evident. The party must pass through this archway and down the steps of deep lilac, where they can see, being careful not to touch the core of black. Descent leads them to the black cyst. The portal will last for 3 hours, then it will disappear. It cannot be invoked from within the lowest area. Time is important, so keep track of it. Damage accruing to the characters other than that from cold is touching the gray vapors, 1 to 6 if covered by the black robe, 2 to 12 if not. Touching the purple shaft, 3 to 12 if covered by the black robe, 6 to 24 if not. Touching the central black core, save versus magic or be disintegrated. Nasty stuff. Okay, we come to the hexagonal chamber. This place has 5 strange formations on it. Each appears similar to a small tree, its trunk of shiny black near the base, but then becoming a shade of color as it grows upwards until finally branches, twigs, and leaves are of brighter hue. From left to right, you see opalescent black tree, deep green tree, metallic crimson tree, indigo blue tree, smoky purple tree. And what we've got here, greetings Ian, is a classic Gygaxian gambit. We have a classic Gygaxian gambit because taking the right fruit for your character, and you won't know this until it's too late. If a character, it will increase a stat, which, if your party has already collected the books in S4 and gotten stat bumps that way, this is pretty damn generous, yeah? If a character of the correct class goes to the tree of one of the appropriate color to his or her profession and picks one of the fruits from the tree, it will shatter in his or her hand. The character must make a system shock saving throw. If it fails, the character turns to black ash in a blaze of cold, colorless fire, forever gone. If it succeeds, the character gains 1 full point of strength for fighters, 1 full point of strength of wisdom for clerics, dexterity for thieves, or intelligence for magic users. The full point does not make an individual 1950 strength rating, for example, just plain 19. Just plain 19. The Dr. Hertz, this module is allegedly 5th to 10th. I wouldn't take a 5th level party in here for all the tea in China. I just wouldn't do it. A 5th level party is going to die in the ambush in the entrance. Unless you have like 25 5th level characters. I think realistically, this module is a 9th to 12th level module. Yeah, no. I mean, I've said before that you could take like 6th or 7th level characters, run by very experienced players through Tomb of Horrors, and they would probably make it through. But inexperienced players who don't know what they're doing, playing, say, each a 12th level character or two, they would get wiped out before you got to Area 3. This module, I think even if you had experienced players with low-level monsters or low-level characters, because there's so many actual monster encounters, like Gorg, the mountain giant. You know, well, okay, we're experienced players. We'll parlay with him. A bad reaction roll, and you're still toast. All right. So the character can try and pluck another piece of magical fruit. But if it's tried a second time, the system shock roll must again be made. And if successful, the character loses 2 points. A third attempt will reverse system shock probabilities and take away 4 points. A fourth will instantly slay the fool trying it. If a character of the wrong class attempts to take fruit from a tree, he or she will take 3 to 30 points of damage and have to make a system shock throw besides in order to avoid death as described above. A second try with the wrong color will certainly slay the character, delivering 3 to 30 points and reversing system shock probabilities. And a third time, if you pick the wrong one, death is automatic. Only the fruit of the purple tree can be picked by any character class. Any character not having already picked a fruit may pluck one from the purple tree. The character will notice that some of the fruits appear large and robust. Others lustrous and appealing. If the former is picked, 1 full point of constitution is gained. If the latter is taken, 1 full point of charisma is gained, and no system shock saving throw is necessary. And then if a second attempt is made, or if a character who has already picked a fruit from another tree tries to pick one from the purple tree, a reverse system shock saving throw is necessary, and 1 point is lost from each category of attribute. A third try is always fatal. It must be stressed that time will not alter the ill effects of picking multiple or wrong fruits. An hour, a day, a decade makes no difference. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And then we finally come to the black cyst. Now, up until this point, if you've been playing this module and you've been thinking monsters and treasure, this is going to really throw you for a loop. But even getting into the black cyst is such a chore. I mean, don the robes, swing the thuribles, blow the horn at exactly the right time. How many parties are going to make it in here? Not many, I'd wager. And I would love to hear in the audience if anyone has ever played this module before. The black cyst. You have dared all and descended the spiraling purple steps formed by the strange column of gray smoke, lilac light, and jet black. This swirling, pulsing column of radiation has opened a means of entrance to somewhere far beneath the surface of the earth, or perhaps someplace not of this earth. Would having a druid, I would not deem it so, Tonka Todd. I would say that your party would simply, or rather your druid would simply say that's not natural. Identify plant, speak with plant, etc., etc. None of that would work here. I mean, commune, contact other plane to ask questions, maybe. This swirling, pulsing column of radiation has opened a means of entrance to somewhere far beneath the earth, etc., etc. How all of you feel the press of time, a sense of urgency. How long will this strange gate remain open? You all hope not to learn the hard way as you hurry down a seemingly endless flight of steps made of the purple radiance. 10 minutes seems more like 10 hours, but at last you have come to what must be your final goal. For the stairs of light give way to more mundane ones of black stone. And we have the black cyst here. You are now descending steps cut into the sides of a circular chamber only 20 feet across, just the diameter of the pillar of radiance you descended through. As you look up, the pillar stretches far above you. So far, you have a way to return. You note that the walls, steps, and floor of this place are of needle-sharp material. To touch it will be to inflict many wounds upon the member so doing. To brush against it with your robes will be to risk shredding these protective garments. You must be careful. There is an opening about 12 feet wide in the south wall. You see space beyond, and you head for it. Gary literally just ushers you along here. This is definitely railroading. Umbral says, we died to the Shadow Demon. Praxis, I've never survived this module, nor have I ever DM'd a party who survived. Greetings, Mobius. Gary notes, this place is cold. Exposed flesh immediately takes 2 to 12, 3 to 18 if it also touches metal, such as a sword or the like. Torches must likewise be clasped by the means of the robe sleeve covering the hand, although the heat of their burning cones helps to keep the adventurers from suffering more than chilblains. The incense in the thuribles isn't needed now, but it will be to get back up the purple column. Remember, incense burns for 3 turns a ball, and torch cones burn for 6 turns each. In this place, only the torches give off any light. All other sources of illumination and or heat are barely glowing. If the party stays in the area for more than 6 turns, they will begin to feel very cold and take 1 to 4 points of damage per turn. A gentle reminder to get out. If without torches to warm the air around them, damage will be 1 to 4 points per round, not turn. The cyst. As you enter this hemispherical chamber of some 40 feet in diameter, the name of this place comes unbidden to your minds. It is called the cyst, the black cyst. From where you stand near the entrance, your iron torches cast only a faint light to where some form lies near the center of this place. This shape is so black that it is absolutely lightless, and it seems to absorb all of the radiance from your torches. As was true in the entry chamber, so too here, all is needle rock. The form on the block. In the center of the room, there is a stone block, 12 feet long, 4 feet high, 6 feet wide. On it rests a shape wrapped in a black haze. Under the haze is something so black that all light is lost to it. The eyes hurt to look at it, and the gaze avoids doing so. As you move around this block of needle rock, you notice that an occasional ripple seems to pass through the lightless, haze-swathed form. Is it stirring? You can't be sure. On the other side of the block, you note devices of black metal. 2 great metal cressets, each with 3 arms, stand at the head and foot of the block. There is a step-like block of the same jagged stone set against the main part. Perhaps the step is part of it, for you can detect no seam. The smaller piece is 4 feet long, 3 feet wide, 2 feet high. To either side of it are low stands with 3 cup-like extensions. Beyond this, the place is bare and empty. Tonka, it's not going to work. Only the torches are going to illuminate this. close examination of the cressets will reveal that each is meant to hold 3 of the torch cones. Likewise, if the stands are examined closely, it will be seen that they will hold 3 balls of incense each. Lastly, if the ends of the step are examined, it will be seen that each has a triangular opening, the point of the triangular opening pointing downwards. The horn must again be sounded, but only after the mouthpiece has been warmed in a torch cone for 1 round. Otherwise, cold metal damage will be taking 3 to 18 points. 3 to 18 points. Enough damage to kill a mid-level character. Think about that from cold. When the blast sounds, the whole place will tremble, and the secret door to the south, which allows entry to Area 4, will sink downwards for 6 rounds. It will rise automatically on the 7th round, and the horn must again be sounded to reopen the portal. A second horn sounding will make the cyst tremble violently, throwing characters to the floor. Those not saving versus magic will have torn their robes. And now they start getting cold. Happy gaming, Ian. You have looked at everything, considered everything, and there is only one answer which seems to be plausible to you. The time has come to use a strange iron horn of Tharizdun once again. So we get to the secret room. Now, at this point, your party's really got to be questioning what they're doing and why they're doing it. This is a Lovecraftian nightmare. Tharizdun is basically Azathoth for Greyhawk. Tharizdun is a being of annihilation. The coldest depths of dead space are his dwelling. So we have a secret room. Yeah, I wouldn't be in here. So you've opened up the secret room. There's glyphs stating Tharizdun's name. Only by speaking the name Tharizdun in the secret room will the containers open to reveal their contents. The one to the left are 60 balls of incense and a piece of black metal, 3 feet long with a triangular end. The other holds 30 torch cones and a metal bar. Cones and incense must be placed properly and set alight by the burning torch cones of the party. Then the 2 keys may be used to fit into the step. And it only works if you have the incense and the torches going. So what do you get? Gary has led you into a nightmare of antimatter, basically. You know, he just put the sphere of annihilation on the wall in S1. In WG4, he's challenging your party to walk into it. Greetings, Luther Pendragon. Good to see you. So what do we get? A long tube of black metal, a small box of the same metal, a bag of metallic black cloth, and they are freezing cold. So you get a wand of force, which is described at the end of the module. And it has 3 score needle traps, which are triggered by body heat. Basically, it's a fragmentation grenade. Each needle is poisoned. Inside the box are the legendary 333 gems of Tharizdun. Unfortunately, only 2 to 8 of them will be 5,000 or better. No devaluation possible with these gems. The remainder will be nothing more than largest gems of base 50 gold value. The box has value, however. Describe it as a stone coffer with a small square legs, which hold it about 1 inch above the surface. The left rear leg is a cube of force, which can be detached simply by casting Dispel Magic. The bag of metallic cloth tied fast with a black metal wire. A book in black, scaly hide. Its pages are all of black. and the sigils and glyphs inside are inscribed in silver. If anyone other than a cleric of Tharizdun opens and attempts to decipher it, he or she will, with the aid of a read magic spell, be able to understand that it is titled Lament for Lost Tharizdun before their mind goes blank for 2 to 12 rounds, and they take 3 to 30 points of damage. What this tome is, says, and does is the subject of some later revelation. If the party wishes to dispose of the work, some sage or savant will gladly pay them 33,000 gold pieces for it and its bag. Yes, Tunkatad, you have to wear the cloaks to cover yourself and not freeze. Nothing else will work. Ring of Warmth? No. I would not say a Ring of Warmth would work here. Control weather. Hey, let's put up Liamon's tiny hut. It's only 72. No. So there we go. That's it. The Lament for Lost Tharizdun. Now, you might ask, is the creature trapped in the Needle Rock sculpture in the larger room of the cyst Tharizdun? And if so, can the party free him? If you wish to end your campaign and your campaign world such that you can say, honestly, I will never run this campaign again, then maybe there's some means in the lament. Maybe. But remember, there was a priesthood of 333 priests living in this place who never figured out how. Your character, who got stunned for 2 to 12 rounds, and blasted for 3 to 30 points of damage, is not going to thumb through the Seer's catalog of destruction that is the Lament for Lost Tharizdun and figure it out like that. Gary did go all upside down on this adventure. So, I ran this once with my nephew, who was extremely irritated. This is the party had gotten the Demonomicon. He wanted the Demonomicon, and he wanted this tome because he was playing an evil character. So I'm playing an evil character. It's right for what my character wants to do, to get the books and read them. He was irritated that I wouldn't let him invoke a wish to free Tharizdun. There are powers. Look, this is just my 2 cents on the matter. I would dare say that there are lawful and chaotic evil, possibly even some neutral evil beings who do not want Tharizdun to ever intrude into this prime material plane. That is, wake up. But if you want to do that, your campaign ends here. No, you wouldn't, Todd. You absolutely wouldn't. You and I are in total agreement there. This is not a place where you should be invoking wish. The one thing that I would have parties, if the party got all the way down here and things just went south. They spent too long investigating. They wanted to make sure that they didn't screw anything up. Things just went south here. I would let teleport or word of recall get a party out of here. One time. No teleporting back in. not dimension door, not pass wall. I would let teleport get them out of here, when very little other magic really does. Thus ends the adventure in the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. Ooh, Ninth Gate. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Umbral. That is a fine film. Really underrated. So let's look again, just like with S4, WG4 provides us with a wilderness area to explore beyond the dungeon and a whole bunch of new monsters and magic items. So we start off, we've got the Annis, of course. They're very evil hags. Like, hags aren't evil enough. The Bogart, which is the immature form of a will-o'-the-wisp. They're still evil. What else do we get? The Wand of Force. Now, the Wand of Force is almost a lightsaber. I think Gary was having a little bit of fun with Wand of Force here. Although it is rumored that the concept of such a wand has taken many forms, the one which has been popularized, so to speak, is a trifunctional device. Only the use of the third function requires considerable operator knowledge. Primarily, a wand of force enables the wielder to cause a shaft of nearly invisible blue-white energy to spring forth from its tip. This shaft extends 4 feet and is equal in effect to a +5 bastard sword. With respect to both hit probability and damage, it cuts stone at 5 inches per cut, metal at 0.05 inches per cut. This usage expends 1 charge per turn. Secondly, a wand of force can be employed to create a wall of force, duplicating the 5th level magic user spell of the same name as if cast by a 10th level magic user. Thirdly, a wand of force can be employed to create a nearly invisible plane of energy which performs exactly as if it had been created by casting a Big B's forceful hand. And fighters of all types are able to utilize the primary and secondary functions of the wand. In addition to its normal means of being recharged by a magic user, the device can also draw sufficient energy to regain a single charge by being touched by any of the following. And there it lists a Mordenkainen's sword, Wall of Force, Big B's hand or fist. Touching with a wand acts as if a disintegrate spell were cast, destroying the spell manifestation instantly and drawing power equal to 1 charge into the wand. So right here, this is a lightsaber. This is a lightsaber. You can deflect blaster bolts, grab somebody, and use it as a sword. This is a lightsaber, and I love it. I'm here for it. Now, the fact that the power comes from the lightsaber and not from the user kind of belies it. But once again, if you want to do a science fiction game, you can grab this out of this module and throw it in with all the other weapons in S3. And then we have the credits: Gary, Andrea Olson Barnes, art by Karen Nelson, graphics by Ian Shook. Layout, Ruth Hodges. Keyline, Linda Back. Playtesters were Luke, David Kuntz, Richard Kuntz, Mike Olson, and Sonny Savage, and special thanks to Rob Kuntz. So I misspoke. I thought that the Fiend Folio monsters were first in here, but no, you just grab them out of the Fiend Folio. And then here are some location maps, rather. Location spells. What the hell's wrong with me? And then this lovely illustration on the back. And we've got our catalog. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes our exploration that started off with S4 over a week ago, branched into WG4, and a little bit into a D20 product. So, I personally think, first of all, I don't think this is nearly as good as S4. I think S4 is one of the best D&D modules ever made. I think this is pretty good. Like, if S4 is a 9, this is like a 5.5 or a 6. To give you an idea, I think Keep on the Borderlands is like an 8 or an 8.5. It's a good module, but like getting into the cyst and everything, that is so obscure. That is so oblique. Are even really wise players going to be able to figure that out? I think players that are truly interested in exploring this place beyond just what you get, I think they're going to have to be like, okay, we've noted where this is on our map. Let's go finish S4. Or we've cleaned out all the monsters, but we feel like there's more we can explore. Or maybe even we got down to the dungeon level in the petrifyingly cold areas. We're going to go talk to a sage. We're going to take these robes, these cones, these incense thuribles. We're going to go find a sage who can maybe tell us about this. And then try and research this module or this temple. But the problem is, in such a case, sorry, a little bit of a mounting headache. In such a case, how much information do you have a sage impart to the party that doesn't just say, go here, stand here, do this? I think you could build a series of adventures yourself, maybe even in this locale. Maybe Gwalar knows a little bit more than he's telling. Maybe he wants you to sweep all the monsters out. Maybe the gnomes in the Gnome Vale are doomed to be this thing's keeper. And they want you to sweep the monsters out because they're worried that the monsters could accidentally find their way into the Black Cyst. Or maybe not. But I think TSR missed a beat with this module. I think personally, well, we've talked about the provenance of of S4. Okay. T1 and T1 to 4 and S4 and WG4, it should be WG1, the Village of Hamlet, WG2, Temple of Elemental Evil, WG3, the Lost Caverns of Sojkamp, WG4, the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, and then WG5, you get Mordenkainen's Fantastic Adventure, and then WG6 is Isle of the Ape. But there's a lot of things you can do this, but I think TSR missed a beat by not taking S4 and WG4, beefing up the wilderness areas, and sticking them in a boxed set. This is a big chunk of Greyhawk with a lot of potential, adventuring potential here. And I feel like TSR missed a beat, but of course there was a lot going on in 1980, 82, 83. So there's a lot to this module. I just think players that approach this as a dungeon hack are going to reach a point where they can go no further and then leave disappointed. Because they're going to see, you're going to fold up the module. Because remember, I think it's key that you do not, particularly if you've got a group who hasn't played this module before, you do not say, hey, we're playing Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun. Remember, as far as the gnomes know or are willing to admit, and as far as the players know, this is just a cave full of humanoids and giants and trolls and annis and other bad guys. All right? It's a dungeon hack. But if you give them this, particularly if you show them this, they're going to say, wait a minute. So if you really want to run the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, and you want to run it in conjunction with S4, again, I would have Gwalar know and say more than he does. Just like, hey, we're beset by monsters coming from the distant west. Can you please go do something about this? Just, you know, just beef this up. Unlike G1, well, the GDQ series, unlike other modules, we'll just say unlike other modules, Gary really has done all the heavy lifting here about the wheres and whys of this module and the wilderness and so on. So I, to you, Dungeon Masters, say, look for the stuff that isn't there and then add it in. Look for the missing things from this module. What would compel the players, not aid the players? I'm not talking about like gimmies for the players. What would compel them beyond killing the monsters for Gwalar? And remember, this place is going to fill back up with monsters sooner or later, and it's going to happen no matter what the players do. If the players leave for 10 years and they clean this place out, the gnomes are going to be attacked again. There's nothing they can do to stop the attraction to evil that this place has and the compulsion to do evil. That's Tharizdun. Mysterious in his Needle Rock prison, corrupting the minds of those who live in the temple, drawing creatures to come and force them to live in the temple. There are so many opportunities here. And if your party, if you think your party is tough enough to extirpate Tharizdun's baleful influence here, and part of that involves cracking that stone and letting part of him leak into our reality, well, good luck to you, Dungeon Masters. Good luck to you. There's another possible influence, speaking of leaking. Hands up, who here has seen John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness? You seeing the opportunities? You seeing the possibilities? Ancient evil contained, or is it? So in what is an extreme tonal shift, this pair of S4 is really something special. But like a piece of Wagyu beef, like a early 1960s red wine, it really takes a connoisseur of a DM to make this more than a piece of meat or a glass of alcohol. G1 through 3 and D1 through 3 and Q1, I have said, are your master's thesis as a dungeon master. And I believe that. If you can run those, particularly the D series, very well, you've defended yourself before the College Board. This is putting it in practice. This is putting everything you've learned into practice, not because it's a particularly tough module. A hack and slay party is going to have no problem dealing with the monsters in here. But having that and the compellingly alien and creepy vibe that underlies this. See, I think Gary, for the first time of any module creators, including himself, ever, why is this here? Because he stepped beyond that. Why are the monsters drawn here? Why do they continually repopulate this area? What compels them to do so? Gary did a great job of creating this Chernobyl level hazard in Greyhawk. And the best thing the party can hope for, if you're not going to do anything funky, is to get a little bit of treasure and brick this place up. It is a genius adventure. It really is. Players that just want hack and slay will find hack and slay. They'll leave with sacks of treasure and some small items of loot, and then say, okay, DM, what do you got for us next? What's next? What are we fighting next? Couple red dragons? You're going to throw us down into hell and have us fight a pit fiend? What? Come on, bring it. This is something completely other for players that want to dig deeper still. I mean, when I first saw this module when I was a kid, I didn't know what to make of this. I mean, look at G1. Hey, the parties are fighting giants. Look at B2. Look, the party is fighting hobgoblins. And they're hobgoblins, not orcs, on the cover of B2. S2. Oh, we're exploring stuff. Oh, there's an evil undead thing. What even is going on here? And this requires some outside the box thinking that for DM and for players. Now that we have finished our look at the S series, we are going to deep dive N1, Now, this is not in any particular order, but N1, B2. And I was thinking of some others, but I feel like we should also look at WG5 and WG6, Gary's last of the WG modules. Now, some folks have asked me, oh, are you going to do EX1 and EX2? Probably not. I'm not. I've had copies of them. Ooh, good call, Alan. It is like Morgoth. But there are more modules coming. I am very tempted to deep dive B2 just because I love it so. I mean, we kicked off the show, not tonight's show. The very first D&D video I made was about Keep on the Borderlands, and I kind of want to do another live stream about Keep on the Borderlands. It's just that good. It's just that wonderful. So I'll kind of kick that idea around. Tomorrow night, we are going to, I think we're gonna dive straight and we're gonna jump into B2 tomorrow. Is where we're gonna go. And you might ask, don't you mean B1? Maybe we'll circle back around to B1 someday. Guys, I gotta say, I didn't grow up with B1. A lot of guys got the basic set when it came with B1 and not B2. I'm kind of feeling like a B2 is really the next approach. But yeah, we'll dive into B2. Didn't Keep on the Borderlands have 3 different locations as Greyhawk evolved? Gary said that there were many places you could put Keep on the Borderlands. He said the Pomarge was a good place to put it. And it is. I can't remember some of the other, but basically, if you just find an out-of-the-way place, I think you could probably put it up near the Bone March in northeastern Greyhawk, between the North Province and the Bone March. You could stick it way out west near Ayuz, or further west and north up near Blackmore. But a lot of fans of Basic just kind of glommed onto the idea that, because Gary mentions the phrase the known world a couple of times, and a lot of people took that as canon and ran with it and kind of just literally exploded out. Like if you think of Keep on the Borderlands as a singularity, you had the Grand Duchy of Karamikios and oh gosh, you had the 5 Shires and what else? Just lots of different kingdoms in a hodgepodge and a mismatch, sort of crammed very close together. You had like an India kind of setting. The Tor is part of the yeomanry. That's definitely someplace you could put it. But B2 is where you want it to be. B2 can be anywhere. Prefer the fighting Borderlands, the north end of the Shield Lands. That you can do that. It's up to you guys, but we're not gonna fret over location, because I think there's enough style and verve in B2 to discuss that exceeds the bounds of merely worrying about where it is in the world. Well, we're both right, Tonka. How does a meme go? That's a cool thing. You don't. No. I feel that there are adventures that when a module mentions, like, G2 wound up in the Grand Duchy of Jeff, or not G2, the G series, the GDQ series was in the Grand Duchy of Jeff. So is S3. There are suggested locations in the World of Greyhawk box set. I just happen to prefer the location. Gary stuck them in these locations and said, and I looked at him and said, oh, okay, that works for me. It would just be weird to play like the Giants modules in the Rakers up the Northeast, or maybe not. Or maybe not. But you're absolutely right, Tonka. It can be anything, anywhere. I mean, I know some folks who've brought basic modules into AD&D, just refreshed them a little bit, freshened them up. That's what I'm trying to say. Just freshened them up a little bit, and then cut them loose. And I think one of the more clever things that I've seen done is someone put C2, which we're also going to do a dive on, the Hidden Shrine of Temacon. Someone put C2 in I'm sorry, C1, Hidden Shrine of Temacon. Someone put C1 on the Isle of Dread, which I think is freaking brilliant, and then put the Isle of Dread off the coast of Greyhawk, off the southern coast of Greyhawk. So there you go. I've gone the other way, porting. Well, that's between you and the Lord. But anyway, I am going to take a minute here. If you're new to, first of all, if you're just coming in, whether you're coming in from Reddit, whether you've, I don't know, picked up on posts I've made on Twitter, from other Discord channels that I spam with links, and you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. But do tell me why you didn't like it, because then I can make the next one better. All right? But as you might have noticed, scrolling across the bottom, if you want to support us on Patreon or Subscribestar, we have both of those. And I appreciate everybody who does that. I appreciate everybody who comes to hang out. I get a good audience. I get 15, 16. I have had 22, 23 people in the audience before. For me, that's huge. I know you go to some streamers and they're like, oh, 9.8K watching. Well, I don't get those numbers, I mean, super chats in excess of what my wife makes in a year in a single night, and good for them, But I see folks, and it really makes me feel good, and I appreciate that you guys do that. But I do want to take a minute, because some folks do choose to. I do want to take a minute to thank Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damien247, James F. Keck, William Smith, The Dungeon Minister, Manny Wall, Mark Corey, Kevin Wood, Todd Sharp, Carnivore Farmer, Rob Knows I Can't Say That, Jeremy Rule, Boganora, Mikey Mank, Sky Hernstrom, and Pete Sullivan. Thank you all so very much for your continued support of the show. I really, really appreciate that. Oops. Wrong one. I'll rearrange those. So let's see, just kind of looking here, catching up on y'all's comments. Dungeon Master says, I'll mention it to him. He DMs BECMI campaign for me. And then Doomsword says, he DMs AD&D for me. Rules is written. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Heck of a Dungeon Master's Guide, though, yeah? I had you at Tharizdun. Tharizdun has captured my heart. No, seriously, it was ripped out of me in his temple. But Dr. Hertz is about to start a new AD&D Gygaxian campaign soon. I would like to get players from here, this channel especially. Well, please, you guys, hey, the Dr. Hurt is getting ready to start a campaign. The Dr. Hurt, where can we find you? Where can folks find you to sign up for? Are you on our Discord, the Dr. Hurt? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Discord. Yeah, we do. Absolutely. And you can join it. See, I'm a decent guy like that. Stop on in and say hi. See, Tonka Todd, right there. You got your first player, the Dr. Hurt. I feel weird calling you the Dr. Can I just call you Dr. Hurt? So if you're not on our Discord, get on our Discord. Get on my level. A lot of people said, oh, is your Discord just for Patreons? No, it's for everybody. Stop on in and say hi. Good. You better. Join the Discord. Judas walking out to go play back. No, Judas would leave to go play 4th edition. Umbral came from the Discord. People are like, man, don't you'll like lose your audience if you have Discord. People will just want like what? How do they get my live streams on Discord that they don't watch them here? You had to add the someone had your name. The Discord is the home of the Peanut Gallery. That's it. So welcome one and all, regardless of what you do, welcome. So anyway, tomorrow night, yeah, we're going to start you know what? We're just going to start B2 tomorrow night. And that's going to be fun. It's going to be good and fun. You're going to have fun until you like it. So then we're going to, if you're not familiar with, we're going to live stream some D&D. Now, I didn't realize this was so in shot, but here I am putting my old lighting panels back into service. I have gotten dummies and I've gotten power cords for them, so they won't be battery. They won't like wink out. So we'll have more lighting on the table. It will look better when we do have some Dwarven Forge. I don't know that we'll actually be doing Dwarven Forge tomorrow night. Yes, I did just circle game you. I don't know that we'll have Dwarven Forge tomorrow night, but when we do, we will have better light. Let me ask you guys something. Is this illuminated enough? Is this too dark? I feel like it was much lighter when I was against that wall and I had light reflecting off the white. But then I see a lot of YouTubers and they have very subdued lighting in their videos and it looks good. But anyway, so tomorrow night we're going to play some AD&D. We're going to talk about some AD&D. Wednesday night, Wastrel Wednesday. You know what's happening Wednesday night, boys and girls? If you're new to the show, you might want to jump on in this too. I think we got 1 or 2 spaces left. My co-host from Down Under, Kyle Schuant, will be running Classic Traveler. Kyle will be running. I will be broadcasting. Kyle will be running. And we're going to play Classic Traveler. I am stoked. We got 1 or 2 spots left. So if you want to experience instant death in the cold depths of merciless space, we got a couple spots left. Hit us up on the Discord. We've got a sub channel all the way down there. You can hop in and do some live stream. All you got to have is a mic. Okay? All you got to have is a mic. No special tabletop software. You don't have to have a 1080p camera. Nothing. You got to have a mic. So the next day is Thursday. Thursday we'll be back into it. I know we're not going to finish B1 or B2 rather. And I know we're not going to finish B2 because mostly tomorrow I'm going to be talking about my history with the module and why and how I learned to play Dungeons and Dragons just using that module, about which I am very excited. And then Friday, more talk about B2 Keep on the Borderlands, and then we're going to play Gamma World, and I promise you, barring military action, a Cat 4 hurricane sweeping across the middle of the state, me, being beamed up into the alien spaceships myself, we're going to play Gamma World on Friday night. So I'm looking forward to that. That will also be live streamed, because you guys seem to like that a lot. Rolling up classic Traveler characters live is what we will be doing on Wednesday. And I'm hyped for it. And I can tell that Kyle is hyped for it. Now, I got to warn you guys who are chatting about other stuff over in the live stream. First of all, it's okay. I don't mind. I'm going to be done in a few minutes. I got to eat some dinner before my AD&D game, which is not live streamed, by the way. Before I do my AD&D game tonight, I got to eat something, and then I got to wrap up for the night, which I'm about to do. So if you're plotting and planning and so on and etc., bring it over to the Discord, because I don't want you to lose contact, everything. That Discord link is not working. Okay, let me see. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. Invite people. All right. Let me do this. Let me edit invite link. So I'm going to copy, and it says copied. And paste. It's the same one. Discord.gg/ all that crap. You've been promoting the Traveler channel on other channels. Page 182, Basic and X. Well, thank you, Tunka. I appreciate that. So try here. I'm going to put it, try it, copy and paste it. The link on the screen, like you can't click that on the screen and it work. Like if you're in YouTube and you're furiously clicking on that and it's pausing and unpausing the video, it doesn't work. You're going to have to copy and paste what I just put in the chat. And that should take you there. And I don't know why it wouldn't be working. So try that out before I go. I've said my thank yous. I've appreciated what everyone is doing. But I'm getting ready to wrap up because I'm hungry. My daughter's been standing in the kitchen. It smells so good, whatever she's cooking. We're about to wrap up, Michael. So somebody who's not on the Discord, try that link and tell me if that works, because that should work. I see Umbral Dragon. I'm not sure which one of you that might be, but that link clearly now works because somebody just hopped over there. So thank you very much. Did you blink when you went over there, Dungeon Minister? Hey-oh! All right, I am going to let you guys know now. Let you guys go now. And like I said, I'm going to go eat some late dinner and get ready for AD&D. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful Monday night, guys. And I will talk to you all later. Peace out. Bye-bye.